Hey, yo, tribe.
What's up? Welcome to the Disconnect, where reconnection is the dialect. I am I.B. Knowing, and this is my co-host.
Jay Know the Sun King. Hey, we finna get him with another one. Hey, this is gonna be, we're gonna feed him today.
Absolutely. But first, we're gonna start off with the sponsor.
Exactly. We want to send a shout out to Voila Vodka. Voila. So if you drink it, make sure you drink it responsibly. Make sure you're handling your business and you're doing your thing. You're being an adult about it. You're being mature about it. You feel me? With that being said,
that's a long list, guys.
Yeah, gotta make sure they got it right. Get it right. Get it right. Yeah.
We have a special guest today. We have Cynthia. You want to introduce yourself, Cynthia, for the people?
What's up? My name is Cynthia Pitre. I am the CEO and founder of Urban Bread. Urban Bread is a string of devotionals that is specially tailored to people of color.
Okay. So, you a jack of all trades.
I'm definitely.
Right. So, tell us a little bit about some of the other things that you kind of into that kind of ties into Urban Bread. What kind of like, as far as like growing up, like what kind of put you on that path of knowing that you was gonna go in that direction?
Pretty much. Well, you already know I'm outspoken. We're related. Yeah. So, I knew that one of these days I was gonna be speaking. You know what I'm saying, to people of color, to us, you know, because we all have similar backgrounds. We all have similar paths, you know. So I wanted to help the transition for our people, and especially women, right? Mm-hmm. And I also incorporated the food because my Urban Bread is pretty much food for the soul. So now that I started cooking, and I just incorporated all of it. I'm like, you know what? All of it's going to be Urban Bread. So you remember those little daily devotionals?
I remember that.
Yeah. So when you're in, prison, those of y'all,
And that's what put me in mind of it. Like
TDC.
TDC,
Right. So when they came around with the daily breads, what was devotionals, I started thinking like, I want to do something like that. So, of course, I gave it the front name of Urban because it's for us.
Right.
So it became Urban Bread, which is food for the soul.
Food for the soul. I like that.
I like
and then I incorporated food for real.
I like the way,
going down.
So physical and spiritual food.
Yeah.
You feed them every way.
I feed them every way. That's exactly what it is.
That's awesome.
So, how does this tie into like some of the adversities and stuff that you face, like growing up in your adulthood and stuff like that? How do you make it? How do you personalize it? And how do we see you in your craft?
Well, let me just say this. When I first started off with Urban Bread, I was more so religious Christianity, and
you was in the choir?
That was the beginning
of the choir.
Yes, I was the choir.
She was the choir director. What you talking about?
I was in the choir, girl.
When Jesus.
All that Amazing Grace and all that, blah blah blah. But so I started off with the religion and Christianity, and as my journey went on, I started. I'm going to say this: when you are chosen, period, and as you start waking up, you're only coming into a remembrance of who you are, right?
Right.
So a lot of things I was just remembering. It's not like I did just so much research. It's like I was getting so many downloads, and everything was just coming to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, like this not cool. And I would try to. Sometimes I would look up certain things, not because I needed just the answer, but just for my own confirmation, you know? And so that's how I started transitioning. Like the first one was a devotional journey, like Urban Bread, a devotional journey, which was a devotional, like weekly devotional. My second one, Urban Bread for the Praying Mama, because, that's me. So I wanted to help women, with whatever battles or whatever that they're facing. I wanted them to know that, we all go through similar battles, especially women of color. And I also was, kind of teaching them how to pray. I even put a chapter in there for my incarcerated mothers. So when you get out of jail, you got to know,
right?
What to do when you get out, because the enemy or whatever is still going to be waiting around the corner.
Right.
So you have to start programming and getting your mind right now.
Right.
So when you get out that you'll be ready and you won't make the same mistakes.
Right.
But then my third one, which pretty much came in 2020, that's when I started changing, because that 2020 became that year of vision, right? So I was really waking up, and it was also in the midst of the George Floyd. So when I started writing on that one, I, like on the front cover, I had Lil Baby. Remember he did that song that, So I did that one. I ended up putting some of the members of Black Panthers, like Huey and all of them, on the front cover, and I put George Floyd. So I ended up going back into that devotional, and I added a special insert, and it said Urban Bread presents 2020, because I wanted our brothers to see exactly what's going on and like the fight that we're actually in, you know, for this world. Like, you have to know that it's a time to fight. It's a time to kneel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a time, you know, to just be silent.
Right.
But you have to know what to do in each incident. You know what I'm saying? You can't kneel for everything. You can't fight for everything. You can't be silent for everything.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you need to know which one. And for my brothers that were incarcerated, I'm like, you know, we still need y'all, because y'all are supposed to be the protectors. You know, we are women. You don't just protect your woman, but every black woman, every queen that's around here. So when you get out of jail or whatever, you need to get back on your square, because you need to know that the game is still not over, you know, like it's still going on. So I really wanted the men to like wake up and see what's around you. Wake up and get on your square. You
And even talking about, like, even with you talking about the moms of the children that's incarcerated, or the guys that's incarcerated, but even teaching them like how to cope with their sons and their significant others when they coming home, because that's a whole different world in there.
Oh yeah. You know, we know.
That's all, yeah.
It's
you know,
totally
like that's a whole different world in there.
Yes,
and when they come in, they be on. They just it's like worlds. The whole world stopped, and then they come out, and it's like something totally different. Like kind of like life.
Right.
It is like life, and so like that became my third one. When I got to my fourth one, it changed completely. Like the third one was Urban Bread for Men Who Lead. Right. The fourth one, that's how I knew that my chakras and everything was opening up, because I came in love. Urban Bread presents the Love Project, Mind, Body, and Soul. Okay. So the Love Project was basically you. Like, you are the project. You know, so it's getting back to loving yourself. And, you know, I started speaking on like the energies and just open up all the chakras, and mainly that heart chakra. For a whole lot of people, you don't realize you open up a whole new universe once that heart chakra is open.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because that's what we vibrating on, love.
Yeah.
And so, but the main thing is, you cannot become a powerful manifester until you first get that love with self right.
Right. That's true.
That is true. That's definitely true.
That's very
true.
true.
That's where I'm at with it.
So I know, like, and I kind of touched on it in another episode when I was talking about what kind of opened me up when I was saying, and I'm not gonna get into it. Y'all go check out the episodes. I'm gonna just kind of gloss over it. When I was talking about how somebody added me to a page, and I didn't know that somebody added me to this page, and it was a lot of people from like globally, right? And they were talking about all these different walks of life, all these different religions and stuff. And this was what made me started reading these posts. I started reading the comments. I started kind of stepping on my toes. I kind of got involved and kind of started arguing and debating and going back and forth with people. And this is what kind of stumbled me to make me start going to study the show Thyself Approve. Right. And I started doing all of these different things. So what are some of the things that that kind of like ushered in your awakening? Like, when you looked around, it was like, dang, this religion is kind of like, well, maybe this is not all what it's like. What are some of the things that you experienced, or that you started that kind of just sparked that in you? Because everybody got their switch when they click that switch.
And I feel like before you go, I feel like if you didn't go to the pissed off phase, then you truly ain't woke up.
Yeah. I definitely did that.
You know
I was like, white people, but I don't feel that way. Right now, I'm in.
You settle in.
I did. I'm in the part. I'm in the part where I'm past that.
And when you go deeper in your understanding, your inner standing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when it really hits you like, hey, you know, you really start realizing where you at in your place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah. But I don't want to take away from the question.
Yeah.
She didn't say it a lot.
No, it's cool. What really prompted me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say forced me pretty much into an awakening was when I started being aware of my surroundings and what was around me. Because you know already from a little girl, like I was pretty much like the old people say, born with that veil. I've always seen things. I've always had visions. I always had dreams. I will always see stuff, period.
Right.
You know, like dreaming with your eyes open. Like, I could see stuff. So once I went through my awakening, it was like to the 10th power. You know, and at first I didn't know what the heck was going on, because I'm just looking around and I would see so much. Here's one thing an older lady told me before, though. She said, you have to realize when that veil starts thinning and lifting, just like you see them, and when I say them,
I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
I know where you're at. I know where you're at with it.
When you see them, they're gonna see you too. So just know that they know when you wake up.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know when you wake up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was just some things in my neighborhood that I started noticing that
that's
ticked
close
me
to
off.
home.
Yeah, that you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say powers that were. It was just little stuff that I would see and I would notice that people would do just to try to get a reaction out of me. And sometimes when I would look at them, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay." You know that I'm up.
Yeah.
So you know these little games and these little mind tricks and all this stuff that you do is not going to work with me because you know that I know and I see exactly who you are.
Yeah.
So it made me want to try to help wake others up, because
Gotcha.
you can push other people into an awakening.
Right.
And so remember when I started off and I started doing my little lives and everything, and so towards the end of my lives, I started getting more into, for one, and that's going to be for another topic. Mm-hmm. Gang stalking. So y'all have to just make sure you're real familiar with that.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Thanks to you, I am, because I was first introduced to it when you first started talking to me about it.
So
gang stalking.
we're gonna leave that there.
No, well, you want to give off a definition so the people can know, or hey, y'all research.
I'm in the dark on this.
Yeah, let's look up a research gang, and we don't have to get all off into it, but let's let the people know.
Definitely need
because
to
we definitely don't
it.
want to talk over people's head, right? We want to let people know what we're talking about. So, what is the definition of? Let's go here.
So while she going there, I want to ask you: did you ever experience astral projecting and stuff like that?
I haven't, but my daughter, my baby girl, she can astral project.
Okay.
She's very light.
I asked that because when you were saying they can see you and see us, I was trying to see where you were.
What I'm saying
in terms
is
of spiritual world.
Okay, it's spiritually. When you say the powers that were, I'll say the powers that were because they losing their power. And we're in the age of Aquarius anyway.
Yeah.
So nothing is hidden anymore. Everything is revealed.
Right.
So you do have the watchers.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So you'll be surprised how many people around you, I'm saying your neighborhood, that have always been watching, but you didn't really know until you actually started waking up.
Got you.
Got
you. Yeah, I got you.
So I stumbled up on a few of those.
So, gang stalking or group stalking is a set of persecutory beliefs in which those affected believed they are being followed, stalked, and harassed by a large number of people. These terms is associated with being targeted. So like a targeted individual, like basically what she said, how she described it. I just want to give, everybody a definition.
So when you read, you have to know, and you have to think about who putting some of the definitions out there, right? Mm-hmm. I always had a problem with when people believe that they are being followed. It's not a belief.
Right. Yeah.
You don't believe, because when you say believe, they want the person to feel like they're delusional, or they tripping, or they crazy, or they.
People love passing
potentially.
Right.
Because I'm here to tell you.
Allegedly.
And the first thing they're gonna say, oh, the person's delusional. You have to think about this. It's made out to make the person look like they are delusional, they crazy, they tripping, or they on drugs. That way, when they try and go get help or tell anybody, that picture's already painted. It's already put out there.
Dave Chappelle already talked about that when Dave Chappelle was like, what would make a person run down the street butt naked screaming, they're trying to kill me, they're trying to kill me, they're trying to kill me. Dave Chappelle talked about that. Really? When he talked about even like the elites and, the kind of stuff that they do and make people, think that they're going crazy or whatever. But
I was like, kind of sort of like that COINTELPRO.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, but everything is spiritual. I think people.
It's definitely spiritual. Gang stalking is spiritual.
Yeah.
Because if you read further, you're gonna find out that the main people that are targeted are chosen.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want you to put no information out.
Exactly, and there it is. So I did a lot of research on that because I was going through it at the time. But I'm 10 toes down on everything. So I'm not, I'm not easily intimidated. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm a hood chick, so they had the right one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I did a whole lot of stuff I know that the area that I'm in, we're all placed, especially the chosen ones, we're placed strategically in certain areas for a reason. Because you called to take territory.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So the territory and everything that was stolen from you, you know what I'm saying, as far as us being melanated people, as far as our royalty DNA periods, as far as accessing your Akashic records, all of that, they don't want you to come into remembrance of who you are, because if you start coming into remembrance of who you are, then you're going to realize everything that was stolen.
But you don't have it's not really a choice in the matter, right? Because first of all, we were able to get Facebook, we were able to get Instagram, we were able to get TikTok, we were able to get all these different social platforms, and also that means that I can communicate with people on other side of the world, right? Yeah. And if they're talking in a language that I don't understand, we could communicate with each other, because all I have to do now is press translate.
Right.
And when I press translate, now we could communicate. Now I can see these news clippings of what they're showing you all the way on the other side of the world, and you can see what I'm seeing. And now we could put all these news clippings together on the screen and see that y'all all reading from the same teleprompter, and they got all these different, So it's way deep, or whatever. The awakening. What a wonderful time to be alive.
Exactly. I love it.
What a wonderful time to be alive. So, even with your book, what can we expect from you? You gonna write another Urban Bread? Like, are you like tapping deeper into your?
I'm going deeper, because don't get me wrong. Even though I'm not all religious or all into Christianity, you still have warfare. It's still spiritual warfare,
right?
That's what I'm saying. So my next one is Urban Bread presents War, the Awakening.
Okay.
Because
you went with love, and then you went with war on the next one.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I did.
Gotcha. I see what you're doing. I see what you're going
Because you have to. Hey, you gotta love yourself. You gotta get yourself ready, because what I'm coming with next, you really gonna have to have a strong foundation of self and knowledge of self, because that way you can't be shook. I have to build the foundation that you're gonna stand on, so where you cannot be shaken. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're gonna stand your ground. You gotta stand your ground. I don't care if it's 1 against 1,000. If you know what you know, and you know that you know, it shouldn't be nothing nobody else could tell you.
Right.
Like stand your ground, because that's what you're supposed to do. Because that's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
So
yes, ma'am.
So when you come to war, nobody really explained to me what a spiritual awakening was. Like, when I started going through it, I really had no idea what I was going through.
I sure didn't know.
Because remember when I was going through all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Nobody knew. So now, as time, of course, went on, years went on, and I realized exactly what it was, and I had to do some research on it. I want to help prepare and help soften that cushion a little bit for others when they experience an awakening and not sure of what it is, because when you got family around you, friends around you, of course, they've never seen it. They still spiritually asleep. They still,
a lot,
Yeah, they're not going to know what you're going through. They're going to think you tripping. They're going to think you crazy.
Yeah.
They're going to think whatever you're saying is not true and blah, blah, blah. So I'm
the weird cousin.
Exactly.
I'm the weird cousin.
Yeah.
You weird too.
I know.
We both weird.
You know what, though? I want to say something.
No, you weird. I'm crazy.
Oh, I'm weird and you crazy.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, I like that. Oh, she left me hanging.
Dang.
But no.
Oh, okay. I'm weird and you crazy. I got it. I got it now. It comes together.
But look, though, I like to say something to the people that's tapped in too with your story and what y'all saying.
Yeah.
And so anybody else that might be waking up and going through this process, I'm gonna go to the Bible real quick for a second.
Go ahead.
Let's look at all the prophets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you in a prophetic position.
Right.
You're a seer. You seeing stuff before stuff is unfolding.
Right.
It never feel good when you by yourself. You're the only one. Think about how each one of them, I know it's I know the book is an allegory, but think about how each one of them would have went through if they was the only one on the planet, or the only one in their space, only one in the area that knew, a flood's coming.
Right.
Or, this is coming. And they got to go out there and be the messenger.
They're being radical.
Right.
They're being completely radical. They're being a messenger of something that telling them something that they used to being accustomed to.
Right.
It's no longer that way no more.
Right.
You know.
But and you know what? And speaking on that too, when people talk about Jesus. Jesus was a radical.
Yeah.
We gonna play with the idea. Now I don't know if this is a real character or not. I don't know because I've been coming across different type of information. I don't really know how to feel about it. But let's just play with the idea of Jesus was a real character. And you talked about it on the last episode that we was talking about when you talking about how Jesus was flipping over tables. And it's like if Jesus was here today, he wouldn't fuck with a lot of y'all.
He wouldn't rock with none of this.
He wouldn't really. Like, all that, going to church or going to, and being judgmental. It's like they told Jesus to go right. Jesus went left. Yeah. They told Jesus to go up. Jesus went down. Like Jesus, was not following none of the laws of the land.
Right. And he was literally considered an enemy of the state.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How many got the courage to be an enemy? The whole U.S. hates you. The whole United States government is after you.
I can tell you who. The chosen.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're here for. We're here to be radical and we are here to be rebels.
Yeah.
We're here to buck the system because the system needs to be broken anyway.
Yeah.
It's a system that's been put in place that was not for us in the first place.
It was not for us.
Exactly. So we're meant to rebel. You know, so remember I told you I had that dream and I never dreamed the numbers, and the spirit came and she said you had 13 chances. Well, if you look up the number 13,
right,
even in the Bible and biblical,
right,
and it's also rebellion. And so
okay,
I knew it. I was like, you know what? I knew that I was placed right here in this neighborhood on this corner for a reason, because y'all been doing some crap around here and sweeping it under the rug, you know, and making these people around here think they tripping, they crazy, or they, you know, when I know exactly what is around,
right,
I'm here to buck the system, because I knew, he knew.
Right.
That I wasn't going to be shook. I wasn't going to be moving. I was going to stand my ground. Whether I'm 1 against 1,000, that's just who I am.
Well, they say they got people walking amongst us. Not people. They say they have beings and
that walk among you.
Different,
I can tell
different things that's walking amongst us. They're just looking like regular people like us, you know. And I really do believe. And this is I'm gonna jump out there and I'm gonna be the weird.
You're not weird because it's actually true.
I'm gonna be the weird one. My thing is, we are not the only intelligent life that have ever roamed Earth, and people are so hell bent on no. And like I always tell people when I be talking to them, I'm like, look, the universe is like a small little speckle in your eye, right? So we gonna say that this is the so this is like the 19th galaxy, right?
Right.
The Milky Way galaxy. So we got the Earth, the suns, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, all these different planets and stuff in this one little speckle. But who's to say if they don't have a whole bunch of like thousands and millions of different universes out there? You don't know. You barely know everything that's going on the planet that you're on. So how can you tell me what's actually out there? Like you can't tell me or debunk anything that's out there. You can't tell me what's going to happen to me when I die. You can't tell. You know, I say this all the time. People love to say, "Oh, when you die, you gonna this." So when you got, it's not like my body is gonna. Like my spirit is gonna leave my body and I'm gonna drop on this floor, and then you gonna tell me, you know what, cousin? When you go down there, you're gonna see a tunnel. Then you're gonna see a light at the end of the tunnel. They're gonna have a man standing right there by a tree. He gonna be smoking a cigarette. He gonna be pointing left, but don't go left. Go right. Like you can't tell me. All you could tell me is what another person told you.
Exactly. Well, you know what? I know one thing. When it's my time, hopefully they come get me like Enoch. In the heavens.
You don't want to die. You want to just
because let me tell you something. Because there's a reason, you know, that they took those books out anyway.
Right.
You know, so when he did go up, what you think he went up in? So the fact of what he went up in it proves, if people would really read and study, that of course they're walking amongst us, and of course they look just like us.
Right.
What do you think we come from?
Right.
Because see, it wasn't that rib and that sand and that dirt that everybody that they
talking about.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. You do know, Anunnaki.
It's bigger than that. Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? They all talked about that. They talked about in the Bible. They talked about how the angels descended from the heavens, and the fallen angels making the Nephilims having sex with the humans, and making the giants and stuff like that. So even the hieroglyphics and Egyptian and the hieroglyphics. And
we're not
going to even say Egypt. We're going to say Kemet. We're going to use the correct word.
Right.
The hieroglyphics in Kemet talked about the Anunnaki.
They were
descending down, and it's the same
heavenly
story.
beings. I'm going to just say heavenly beings.
And what does heaven mean? What is the real definition of heaven? The skies. It's an archaic word, an ancient word for the sky.
Yeah.
So we didn't trans heaven today to mean like, you know, this holy place.
Yeah.
When they said, every time you watch these old type of movies, you watch in old English language, and they looked upon the heavens. They talk about they looked up, and they didn't call it sky. They called it heavens.
Right.
That's just that was just the term for it.
See how they flipped up?
Right.
Oh, they flipped a lot because you have to know that there's more than one.
Right.
You know? I
just explained it. It's probably thousands of because
and notice I said heavens.
Exactly.
They looked upon the heavens.
So that's why people need to understand, if there were heavens, then you have to know that there were gods, GODS.
Yeah, but they said that in the Bible though. It said
because there's a creator God. We have a creator God.
Yeah.
Capital G.
Then thank you. And then there are other gods.
But in the Bible, it said we will make man in our likeness. It said we. It said we in our. It was saying it. A lot of we in our.
Yeah.
So when you ask a lot of people, they'll say that's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
They call it the Trinity.
The Holy Trinity. So they'll say that. So I don't know, y'all. Like they flip these words around, but we gonna have to get on that. Because there's something that we talked about as well.
So start, I don't know if y'all familiar, even, like I look at a lot of Billy Carson and I look at 19 Keys.
I do. I look at Billy. You know what? Billy. I was looking at 19 Keys at some point. And I like 19 Keys or whatever.
Right.
But when I start looking and I start following the person and they start getting on this patriarchal thing where they kind of like demeaning women, like women are underneath them, it's kind of why I fall off it. That turns me off. That kind of turned me off. So he said he had an episode where he was kind of talking about he said something I can't remember, but it turned me off. I would have to go look for it, but I was
go back for that.
Yeah, I was a little turned off with that because y'all everybody that follow us, y'all know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Right. Well, definitely. Have you read like the Emerald Tablets? And
I have it on my phone, and I listen to it, like kind of breeze through it a little bit. But I'm more so y'all, and this is something that we kind of talked about off air too. I done went into like studying the cosmos. I done went into studying all these different things. Kind of tapped into a little bit of pretty much everything, as much as I could come in contact with.
Right.
Put it like
exactly.
that, right? Because I ain't tapped into everything. I ain't trying to say like I know everything.
Right.
But I'm more so directing myself to go inside of myself.
Right.
I'm more so studying me now. I'm studying me now, and I'm trying to break me down and see what make me tick and what make me this and why I'm this way and why I'm that way, and I'm studying my Akashic records and my breakdown from my family tree and the generational curses and stuff that's being passed down. So it's time for me to start breaking down some of these things. And once I start healing and doing things that I need to do from the inside, I feel like everything else on the outside is gonna fall in line. Because some of this stuff, y'all, we go around in circles and circles and circles and circles and circles or whatever, and some of this stuff won't be revealed. Not even in this lifetime. Right. But I still say what a wonderful time to be alive, because a lot of stuff is being revealed in this age of Aquarius, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I get it. You know what I mean? Because I'm kind of like that in that same space too. But I would recommend, what I tell people all the time, well, in terms of what we are studying, these various different topics, I've kind of did like a multiple choice test. Right. You know, we know it ain't this book. Scratch that off. Right. You know what I'm saying? We know it ain't A. We know it ain't C. So now we're looking at B and D. Because none of us really have transitioned, even in terms of stuff like reincarnation and stuff like that. I was just saying off mic. Like, I believe it sounds more logical to me. It makes more sense in reincarnation. Right. But can we truly remember our past lives at this moment? So kind of focusing on what's real and what's surreal, what's in front of us at this moment. Right. At the same time. So I try to go in between both of those realms, you know what I mean? Right. And so, I've gotten to a point, like I've studied Kemet, I've studied, the Quran, I've studied Judaism, I've studied all these different books and stuff like that. But if I could give any of our brothers and sisters out there one thing to study and say, hey, the important, because like it's a lot of pseudoscience out there, and it's kind of hard to differentiate what's pseudo and what's real. You know what I mean? Like I say, it's going at A and B. The thing I would tell everybody was what she said: study self. Right. You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself these questions. If you can only have one thing to study, if you're only one piece of material, if study self, you know what I mean? Ask yourself, why do I do what I do? Why am I thinking like I'm thinking? What is making me move this? You know what I'm saying? And then start looking at your habits of your family. What did my mama do? What did my daddy do? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we all really are a product of our environment. Right. You know what I mean?
Which is when I tell you I'm in the midst of my second awakening. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm on. Yeah. It is finding out more about me.
And it has everything to do with tapping into your different, even your parents. This is something that I always say too. Y'all gonna hear me say it a lot, because I'm gonna keep saying it till I drill it into everybody. Because even tapping into your parents, if you are in the middle and your parent is right here and your kids is right here, you have to study all of them, because this is the way that you work a mathematical equation. The same thing you do on the left side is you're going to do on the right side. This is how you're going to find your answers. This is how you heal your bloodline. This is how you heal these generational curses. You have to do that. A lot of us don't really want to go into that room to be talking to our parents about certain things. A lot of our parents are a little stubborn, but we got to find we got to find the little ways to kind of get in there to get the answers that we need, because it's not about them. It's bigger than them.
Oh, definitely.
It's bigger than you. It's about your bloodline.
Definitely.
It's about your bloodline. So
my lineage, my bloodline. Yeah, you're right. And one more thing, since we get off that. Speaking of this age of Aquarius, right? So I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe for the people out there, we have a couple more months left before this next year comes in. It is passing by fast. So I just wanted everybody to know that this is the time when things are revealed. Nothing can be hidden. So any questions you have or whatever you want to know, you throw it out there into the universe. This is the time where you're like those affirmations, when you speak them out loud. Like when you wake up in the mornings, you speak them. When you go to bed at night, speak them, because this is the time of manifested promises. Everything that you speak and everything that you put intention behind will manifest. Because we are in that age. You know how they say when the last will be first and the first will be last?
Right.
Well, it is our time because the collective, more of us are waking up now. So the energy has shifted.
Absolutely.
Exact. So
I can feel it.
Oh, me too.
I can feel it.
So that's why I'm saying for, all my brothers and sisters out there, whatever whatever you want, whatever you desire, this is the time for you to go ahead and speak that thing into existence and go ahead and walk out your destiny, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love it.
So, which brings us to a disconnect.
So, I think that, I feel, man, stepping in with your book, and we kind of, let's do it a little different this time, how would you say, at the end of every show, we come and bring what the disconnect is and say what we disconnected in society and what can we bridge that connection? Like, what are the tools and what do we need to do to get to that level? So, in reference to your book, where do you connect the dots at? What would you say is the disconnect in our society, or our culture, and how does your book connect that together?
I'm going to say my last one, that Love Project, the Mind, Body, and Soul, because being that so many generational curses, right? And we are still in the process of trying to heal our bloodlines, right? And before you can even begin to understand your bloodline or heal your bloodline, you have to first heal self. So that last one, that knowledge of self and that loving yourself, that's what I want everybody to work on first. So even if you go out and get that last devotion or whatever, it's going to speak on all the chakras, which ones need to be open. You know what I'm saying? Like your root chakra, your crown chakra, your sacral chakra. Let me tell you something, baby. I didn't know that my sacral chakra was connected to so much, but you best believe that sucker open now.
I know that's right.
Boo.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was blocked because let me tell you something. Even as a woman, you could still, you know what I'm saying? You could still be into your sexuality or having sex or whatever, and that sacral chakra still be blocked.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But you're steady having sex. You could have babies and everything.
Right.
And not realize. And that's because, let me tell you, for y'all women out there, some of y'all men, that sacral chakra, and when you having sex, it's a purpose for it.
Right.
Because that is the highest form of energy that you can throw out into the universe to manifest.
Yeah.
Right. So if it's blocked, you have to start taking a look at that and why it's blocked and why you may be in the same position and why you keep choosing the same partners and keep repeating those cycles. Right. Because if it's blocked and it's not functioning the way it was meant to function, which is for us to manifest, then that's why you're still repeating some of the same cycles. And that's what I had to learn. Yes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Through experience with teaching.
Right. Ooh. So being that it's not blocked,
Yeah. You manifest.
I'm definitely manifesting.
So look, I kind of, but I've kind of studied about that and familiar with that. I kind of got a question though. Okay, during the manifestation process, and I ain't trying to be
because we want to give them the real.
Right. Yeah. So are you manifesting, speaking before? During.
Definitely during.
Okay,
You're speaking during.
Okay. I just want to be clear.
Like right in the midst of that explosion, you like,
yeah.
Okay.
And throw it on out there.
That's
but see, that's exactly. There you go.
Give me, okay.
That's exactly what it is. Because now she's gonna leave me hanging. Because I do know what that is.
Okay.
That's how we're able to really manifest some things. And you know how the Bible biblically says, when two or more are gathered, right? Mm-hmm. That's why. Mm-hmm. But the Bible didn't tell you that part. Mm-hmm. You understand? It is when two or more are gathered, but the Bible not going to tell you.
Become one. But they did say that other scriptures, and so you got to kind of piece it together.
Stitch it up,
Yes. So, yeah.
That's good, cousin.
Okay.
That's dope.
I like that.
Before we close out, your social media, you want to let us know, like, people can find you, where they can,
I mean, I'm still listed, my regular government name, Cynthia Pitre, on Facebook. I have an Urban Bread page, so you can pull up Urban Bread Cynthia Pitre. And you can go to Instagram and pull up the same. It's still my regular page, Cynthia Pitre, Urban Bread. And then I have TikTok. It's under Urban Bread 360. And I did the 360. What's crazy is my TikTok, my regular one, it got deleted. Like, it got reported like it was something on there. And the only thing that I could think that was put on there is when I made a video alerting people that they stealing oil and gas in certain areas, right? So the powers that were, huh? Yeah, exactly. So it was deleted. Can't even get back into that page. Wow. So I was like, you know what? It's cool. I'll just go ahead and revamp it. And so I came back with Urban Bread 360.
Come on, 13. Come on, 13.
There you go. Exactly. And I'm coming.
Yeah. I love that.
I love it too.
That's awesome.
Well, I guess coming to a close, cuz I just appreciate you driving down here from so far to come to the podcast.
Yeah, it was real.
You know,
you ain't
share
know
your gifts. Share your gifts with us, and drop your accolades and drop some knowledge, some jewels and stuff that people need to see, because there's a lot of stuff that we don't talk about, and there's a lot of stuff that need to be talked about, especially us as women.
Exactly.
We got to drop some jewels on some of the girls.
This is nice. I'm gonna have to come back.
Yeah, you definitely got to come back.
This is my first time I have to come back. We're gonna have to really get down to the
absolutely. Oh yeah, we could dive deeper. We could definitely dive deeper.
I definitely want to go deeper.
We could dive deeper. But yes. So anywho, you have any closing words? The people want to know, where is Rebel Handful? When is
Rebel coming back to a screen near you?
Rebel Handful. Oh, you about to see.
Rebel Handful. There I walk through the valley, the shadow of death.
Go Rebel Handful. Go Rebel Handful.
He gonna drop them jewels, the parts of the Bible they ain't read about. The ones they don't want to talk about.
Exactly.
That's
a few of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a
I'm gonna see for that one.
Yeah.
Rebel Handful gonna have to give it to him.
Hey y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to the Disconnect Podcast. This is the podcast that heals and builds.
Peace.
I have learned to piece together pieces that you broke. I can see through all of the deceitful things you wrote. I have managed cracking all the secrets to the codes. You swerved into my lane like you were sleeping on the road. Said we weren't indigenous and brought us here as slaves. Wrote yourself in her story and tore us out the page. Trying to cover up that you're the one that's out of place. Then wonder why my people wildin' out and in the rage. Bitch, you lied, we've been certified. My ancestors own this shit, I know that hurt your pride. I'm witnessing truth and lies unfold before my eyes. Present in the flesh, oh what a time to be alive. Understand that white folks not our only enemies. We got those against us that still look like you and me. Just because you talk that talk don't mean you're fooling me. Cause I don't need a savior long as I stay true to me.